If you climb a single flight of stairs and have to stop at the top to catch your breath, even though you used to do it without thinking, and your last blood test came back, in your doctor's words, completely normal, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes because there is a very good chance that one specific number was never measured. And after 60, that one number is the difference between feeling like yourself and feeling like a shadow of who you used to be. I'm Dr. Sarah Lane. I've spent years helping adults over 60 understand what their bodies are actually telling them, and iron is the quiet one. It almost never shouts, it whispers, and most people, and frankly, a lot of doctors, walk right past the whisper. So let me tell you why this happens, and then I'm going to walk you through 7 silent warning signs that your iron stores are running low, including one in sign number 5 that gets missed in women again and again, right? Here is what most people get wrong. When you go in tired and run down, your doctor usually orders something called a CBC, a complete blood count. That test looks at your hemoglobin, which is the iron that is already loaded onto your red blood cells and circulating right now. And here is the trap. Your hemoglobin can sit comfortably in the normal range while the iron sitting in your storage tank is nearly empty. That storage tank has a name. It's called ferritin. Think of hemoglobin as the cash in your wallet and ferritin as your savings account. You can have $20 in your wallet and absolutely nothing in savings. And on paper, in your wallet, everything looks fine. That is exactly how iron deficiency hides after 60. Now, why do the savings run dry as we age? A few reasons, and they stack up. First, your stomach makes less acid as you get older, and you need stomach acid to pull iron out of your food. Second, a lot of slow, quiet blood loss happens in the gut as we age. A small irritation, a hidden source, a daily aspirin thinning the blood, none of it is dramatic. A teaspoon a day you would never notice. But a teaspoon a day, every day, drains the tank. Third, appetites get smaller, red meat gets eaten less often, and the richest iron sources slowly drop off the plate. There's one more piece that makes this sneaky after 60. When iron deficiency comes on slowly, and at our age it almost always comes on slowly, a teaspoon at a time, your body is remarkably good at adapting. You don't fall off a cliff. You drift down a gentle slope, a little more tired this month than last, a little more winded than you were last spring, until exhausted quietly becomes your new normal and you forget you ever felt different. That slow drift is exactly why people live with this for a year or two before anyone thinks to check the right number. It isn't that the signs aren't there, it's that they arrive so gradually you stop noticing them. So, if you feel like something is off, but your paperwork says you're fine, you are not imagining it. You may simply be measuring the wallet and ignoring the savings account. The good news is, this is one of the most fixable things in all of senior health. Once you actually find it, let's find it. Warning sign number 1. A bone-deep tiredness that a full night of sleep does not touch. Now, I know, everyone is tired, and after 60, a little slowing down is normal. But this is different. This is the kind of exhaustion where you wake up after 8 hours and feel like you never slept at all. Here is the mechanism. Iron is what lets your red blood cells carry oxygen to every muscle and every part of your brain. When iron stores fall, your blood is literally delivering less oxygen with every beat, so your whole body runs in a low power mode. There is a real number behind this. In one large national health survey, adults whose ferritin sat below 30 reported significantly more daily fatigue than those above it, and many of them had perfectly normal hemoglobin. So here is the credit, and then the catch. I will give sleep all the respect in the world. Good sleep fixes an enormous number of problems. But if you have protected your sleep, you are in bed 8 hours, and you still wake up flattened, sleep is not your problem. Your oxygen delivery is. The move here is simple. At your next visit, ask in these exact words, "Can we check my ferritin? Not just my hemoglobin?" Write it down so you don't forget in the room. Warning sign number 2, getting winded or feeling your heart pound on effort that never used to bother you. One flight of stairs, carrying groceries from the car, walking up a gentle hill. Suddenly you're breathing hard and you can feel your heart hammering. Here is why. When your blood can't carry enough oxygen, your heart tries to make up for it by pumping faster and harder, more trips to move the same amount of oxygen. So your heart rate climbs on tasks that used to be nothing. The figure to know: your resting heart rate can climb 10 to 20 beats per minute higher than your normal when iron stores are low, simply from the body compensating. Now, the credit and the catch. A racing heart absolutely deserves a proper heart workup. Please never wave that away, and I mean that. But when the heart checks out clean and you're still breathless on the stairs, low iron is one of the first things I want ruled in or out. And one more thing I see all the time: people blame this on being out of shape, so they push harder at the gym to fix it, and they end up feeling worse because you cannot exercise your way out of an oxygen delivery problem. The fix isn't more effort, it's more iron in the tank. The move? Track your pulse for 1 quiet minute. First thing in the morning before you get out of bed, 3 days in a row, and bring that number to your doctor. Warning sign number 3, paleness. But you have to know exactly where to look. People look in the mirror at their face and say, "Well, I look fine." The face fools you. The honest places are the soft tissues. Gently pull down your lower eyelid and look at the inner rim. It should be a healthy pink or red. Look at your gums. Look at the creases in your palm when you open your hand. When iron is low and your red blood cell count thins out, those tissues lose their rosy color and turn pale, almost washed out. There's a useful figure here. When the creases in your palm go as pale as the surrounding skin instead of staying pinker, that single finding lines up with iron deficiency in a meaningful share of cases. It's an old bedside check for a reason. Doctors have leaned on the inner eyelid check for over a century, precisely because it strips away skin tone and shows you the color of the blood underneath. Credit and catch. Paleness on its own is not a diagnosis, and skin tone varies enormously from person to person. Please don't panic over one pale glance in a dim bathroom. But pale inner eyelids, plus the fatigue from sign 1, plus the breathlessness from sign 2, now we have a pattern worth testing. Do the eyelid and palm check today in good natural light, ideally by a window, and compare your palm creases against the back of your hand. Remember what you see, because that picture is worth describing to your doctor. Warning sign number 4, cold hands and cold feet, even in a warm room, even under a blanket. So many people over 60 just accept this as getting older. But think about the mechanism. Iron-rich blood-carrying oxygen is part of how your body generates and delivers heat to your fingers and toes. When stores run low, your body quietly pulls warm blood toward your core to protect your vital organs, and your hands and feet get left out in the cold. Literally. Here is the number. Your fingers and toes can sit several degrees cooler than the rest of you when oxygen delivery drops. Now, the credit and the catch. Cold extremities have other honest explanations: thyroid, circulation, certain medications, and we will respect all of them. But cold hands and feet that showed up around the same time as the fatigue, the breathlessness, and the paleness, that cluster points straight at your iron. A lot of people reach for thicker socks and a second blanket and never connect it to anything inside. The move. Notice whether your feet are cold even on warm days indoors, when the house is genuinely warm and you've been sitting comfortably. If your hands and feet are still cold in that setting, that detail matters, and it belongs on the list you bring to your doctor. Warning sign number 5. This is the one that gets missed over and over, especially in women, and it is restless legs at night. That crawling, creeping, can't keep them still feeling in your legs the moment you lie down. The urge to kick, to move, to get up and walk, just to make it stop. Most people are told it's just stress, or just age, or just one of those things. Here is what is actually going on. Your brain needs iron to make dopamine, the signal that helps control movement. When iron stores in the brain run low, that signaling misfires at night, and your legs will not settle. This is the beat I really want you to hear. The research is striking. A large share of people with restless legs are found to have low iron stores, and the threshold doctors look at is a ferritin under 50 to 75, which is far higher than the floor a basic test flags as abnormal. So your ferritin can be called normal on the report and still be far too low for your legs. Credit and catch. Restless legs can have other roots, and I would never wave a wand and say it's only iron. But it is, hands down, the most overlooked iron clue in women, because the link between ferritin and restless legs is simply not on most checklists. The move. If your legs torment you at night, Ask specifically for a ferritin number and ask where it falls relative to 50 years, not just whether it's flagged, right? That one question changes the conversation. Warning sign number 6. Look at your nails and your hairbrush. Brittle nails that chip and split, nails with ridges, and in deeper deficiency, nails that actually start to curve upward and look slightly scooped, like a shallow spoon that could hold a drop of water. Alongside that, more hair than usual in the shower drain or on your brush. Here is the mechanism. Your nails and your hair follicles are fast-growing tissues, and when iron is in short supply, the body triages. It sends iron to the organs that keep you alive first and starves the cosmetic tissues. So your nails and hair are often where the shortage shows up early, like a warning light on the dashboard. The figure, that spooned nail finding called koilonychia, is uncommon overall, but strongly tied to iron deficiency when it appears. Credit and catch. Thin nails and shedding hair have plenty of innocent causes: age, dryness, harsh products, the seasons, and the simple fact that hair thins for many of us as the years go by. So I don't want you tearing your hair out, so to speak, over a few strands in the drain, but spoon-shaped nails, plus noticeably more shedding than your normal, plus the fatigue, is a combination that earns a ferritin test. Full stop. And here's a hopeful note. Because hair and nails are slow growing, they're also slow to recover. So if your iron is restored, give it a few months before you judge the results. The move: look at your nails in profile from the side today. Hold them up at eye level against a plain background. If the surface dips into a shallow valley instead of gently doming outward, that's worth mentioning by name. Warning sign number 7, strange cravings and a small but telling change at the corners of your mouth. This one surprises people. When iron runs very low, some people develop a powerful, almost driving urge to chew ice or to crunch on things with no food value at all. Even the smell of dirt or fresh paper can become weirdly appealing. The medical name is pica, and persistent ice chewing has its own name, pagophagia. And here is the strangest part. We don't fully understand why iron does this to the brain, but the link is so reliable that when a patient tells me they're going through bags of ice every single day, ferritin is the very first thing I check. Alongside the cravings, look at the corners of your mouth. Painful little cracks and splits there, what we call angular cheilitis, often travel with low iron. The figure worth knowing: a meaningful share of people who compulsively chew ice see that habit fade within weeks once their iron stores are properly restored. The craving switches off as the tank refills. Credit and catch. Cravings can be habit, and cracked mouth corners can come from other shortfalls too. But daily ice chewing is one of the loudest quiet signals your body has, and it deserves a test, not a shrug. The move: be honest with yourself about the ice. If it's daily, it counts. Now, before the recap, here's the bonus: who is most at risk, and the one mistake I really need you to avoid. The highest risk group is older women, particularly anyone still having any cycle late, or who has fibroids, because that is ongoing iron loss month after month. Right behind them, anyone on a daily aspirin, a blood thinner, or a long-term acid reducer, because the first two encourage quiet bleeding, and the third blocks the very acid you need to absorb iron in the first place. And people who eat little or no red meat have to work harder to keep their stores up, because plant iron is simply absorbed less efficiently than the iron in meat. And here is the mistake. Please don't do this. Do not walk into a pharmacy, buy a high-dose iron supplement, and start taking it on your own because a video told you might be low. I'm not telling you to start or stop anything on your own. Iron is one of the few things your body cannot easily get rid of once it's in, and too much iron is genuinely harmful. It can build up and damage your liver and your heart over time. So the path is the opposite of guesswork. Get the ferritin number first, talk to your doctor, and let the actual result guide the dose. Pair any iron your doctor recommends with vitamin C, a squeeze of lemon, a few strawberries, a little orange, because vitamin C can more than double how much iron you absorb from a meal. And keep your coffee and tea away from your iron-rich meals by an hour or two, because the tannins in them block absorption hard. Let's bring it home. 7 silent signs of low iron after 60. 1. Exhaustion that sleep won't fix. 2. Breathless and heart pounding on mild effort. 3. Paleness in your inner eyelids, gums, and palms. 4. Cold hands and feet in a warm room. 5. Restless legs at night, the one missed in women, tied to a ferritin under 50 to 75. 6. Brittle, spoon-shaped nails and shedding hair. And 7. Strange cravings like chewing ice, plus cracked corners of the mouth. None of these is proof on its own, but 2 or 3 of them together is your body asking for one simple test. Small checks, big difference. So here is what I'd love for you to do. I've put together a free companion guide that walks you through the exact ferritin numbers to ask for, an iron-friendly grocery list with the gram amounts that actually move the needle, and the simple food pairings that help you absorb more from every meal. The link is in the description and pinned to the top comment. It costs you nothing, and it's yours. While you're down there, tell me in the comments, which of these 7 signs were you quietly living with and brushing off? I read them, and your story might be the nudge someone else needed. And if this helped you see your own body a little more clearly, go ahead and subscribe. I make these for adults over 60 who are done being told everything is normal when they know something isn't. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.